And I think I thought that you had to be a certain stereotype to work in fashion. What I wanted in life was to have a job where I could go and get my coffee on a morning and walking up to my nice, like, fancy office in London and working for a magazine. That's what I wanted to do. I have a really irrational fear of turning up to events in the same outfits as people. I had bought myself this red Zara dress. I walked into this birthday party in this garden, and all these girls that I'd never met before just gave me a really dirty look. My housemate, that dress you're wearing, that's the dress she's wearing tonight for her birthday, for like when we go out. And she was like, yeah, she's just really upset that you're wearing the dress because it's her birthday and she's wearing this dress.
Welcome to Off the Hanger, the fashion podcast where we delve deep into our guests' wardrobes, finding out their favourite fashion pieces and the stories behind them. This week's guest is the deputy fashion editor of Fabulous magazine, the gorgeous Abby Mchale. We talk about her passion for high street dressing, the horror of turning up to an event in the same outfit as someone else, and our mutual love of being comfortable. I hope you enjoy this episode. Abby, welcome to Off the Hanger. It's very lovely to chat to you today. Super excited to dive straight into your wardrobe. But first, I want to know a little bit more about your career because it gives the impression of very glamorous working for fashion magazines. But I imagine the reality is a little bit different.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to lie. I feel like if kind of like 16-year-old me now would kind of be asking my 30-year-old self kind of what I'm doing, I think she would be quite flabbergasted because sometimes I think I am. I'm like, oh God, I can't actually believe I've got this job. Sometimes I always remember I came down from university to do my first internship at a magazine, and it was like a 6-month internship, and I was like, had to move to London from being up north, and I was like, oh, I'll just ride the wave and see how I go. And like 10 years later, I've like climbed up in the industry. I'm now deputy fashion editor, and I'm just like still riding the wave. Feel like one day someone's going to tell me that I'm a fraud. But yeah, I mean, obviously there are glamorous parts to it, but then, sometimes it's not all glamorous. Like, our fashion cupboard at work definitely doesn't look, like how it is on the films and in the TV shows. If you've ever watched, there's one on Netflix at the minute called The Bold Type, that follows a magazine in the US. It's a fiction one, but their fashion cupboard looks so glamorous, and we just laugh. Like, we're on our hands and knees unpacking boxes. There's like muck all over the floor. Like, it's hangers everywhere. Especially in the early days when I was an intern, like I could never have my nails done because you were just constantly like, it just wasn't. It obviously is lovely parts of it that are glamorous, but it's hard work as well. Even on set, styling. It's a job that's always got you on the go and often makes you work up a sweat. Lugging suitcases around but yeah, I wouldn't have it any other way. It's amazing.
Yeah, you see, this is why we're deceptively strong. I think fashion girlies are deceptively strong. I look weak. I know that I look super weak, but by God, can I carry suitcases? Because I'm just always lugging about giant suitcases full of clothes for shoots.
Literally, and it's not that glamorous. Sometimes you're on public transport with them as well. It's not like getting in a fancy car and jumping from set to set. So yeah, it's we do work hard.
We're
sat at a
grafting.
desk and in the wild. Yeah.
And did you always love fashion? Was it always your dream to work in fashion?
Actually, no. I went to university and did a journalism degree, and I really wanted to be a beauty journalist. I mean, I think if I look back now, fashion has really played quite a big part in my life growing up anyway. But I think in my head, I thought that you had to be kind of really into designer and be able to afford kind of a lot of designer pieces. I'm very high street. And I think I thought that you had to be a certain stereotype to work in fashion. So when I kind of like did some work experience and at first, and I kind of did fashion and beauty, and then when I left university, I think I kind of was just like, what I wanted in life was to have a job where I could go and get my coffee on a morning. I've literally only just started liking coffee in the past year as well. And walking up to my nice, like, fancy office in London and working for a magazine. That's what I wanted to do. It wasn't really necessarily at the time like what section. And then it was beauty for a while, and then it was only actually when I graduated that I got fashion internships that I was like, oh, I can just be a normal girl from Leeds that likes Topshop and Primark and stuff, and work in fashion. And I think that kind of then opened my eyes up to the fact that, I could do this job, the way I am. And now I wouldn't change it. And obviously beauty still goes hand in hand. But yeah, I love doing fashion.
That's fabulous. I love this.
Yeah.
And so is there a memory from your childhood that you remember? Is there a certain piece that you loved?
Yeah. I mean, my mum used to really randomly work for a company that had, it must have been a sister company to Next. And back in Leeds, next to where she worked, she had a Next outlet store. And so mum would used to come home with like bundles of really cheap kids' clothes for me from this Next outlet. And like one dress in particular was this yellow halter neck it was halter neck and like a square neckline midi dress. Honestly, I'd love to wear it now if it wasn't, obviously it's long gone. It was probably for an 8-year-old. But I had that on holiday for quite a few years, and there's like some pictures of me that my mum's got of me like singing karaoke in it, probably in Spain somewhere. And I remember feeling like the best thing since sliced bread in that dress. And then other things, obviously, I was kind of a 90s kid, so kind of I've got pictures wearing like the jelly shoes. When I started high school, the cool thing to do in life was to have a Jane Norman bag.
What a throwback.
What a throwback.
A similar era, the Jane Norman bag was the pinnacle of high school fashion.
Literally, I remember my grandparents taking me. There was a Jane Norman shop in Leeds, and they took me, and they would only let me buy it if I proved to them that it fit an A4 folder in, just so that it was still practical. And I did. I took the folder with me into town, and it did fit, and I was allowed it. But yeah, I think I've definitely always been a bit of a trend hopper on, like stuff like the Jane Norman bag. And yeah, growing up, I've definitely always I loved Topshop. Like, hopefully the news is true that it is coming back in a bit of a better capacity than just being online at the minute. But like, I spent countless Saturdays in Topshop, like had this like, in fact, I still have it actually, a long line beige cardigan with big black love hearts over it, and Miley Cyrus had it as well, and I just thought I was so cool wearing it. Like, was definitely kind of the more fashion forward one out of all my friends, but my mum has been as well. And that's how we spent our Saturdays growing up, was like going into Leeds city centre, as I would call it. We were very lucky to be surrounded by lots of great shops. And literally I spent my every Saturday shopping. So now it's no wonder that I do the job that I do.
It's brilliant. I love that that's how you and your mum bonded. And I also grew up in Leeds and have very fond memories of going into Leeds city centre, going in the Corn Exchange. I don't know if the Corn Exchange still is the same.
It is. It still exists. It's still got stuff in. Yeah.
And it had more kind of independent little shops in there, and you'd find really quirky, cool stuff. And going just to like Leeds Market and up and down. What's the main Briggate, isn't it? The main
street.
The main street where Topshop and everything was.
Yeah.
So many fond memories of spending my days there.
I was at university when Trinity got built, which is like the big shopping centre now. And me and my mum were meant to be going to Amsterdam on holiday, and it snowed at Easter, which was quite unusual. And our flight got cancelled, and my mum was devastated. And I was like, oh, I'm so sad, but I also get to go look at Trinity because I'd not seen it yet. So we spent the day shopping instead. And I remember at the time being like, don't worry, at least we're having today.
We're still having fun.
Yeah. There was some great vintage shops as well, like not Beyond Retro, because that's one of the big ones now. But there's one next to the Corn Exchange. I think it's called Blue Rinse or something like that. I used to spend a lot of Saturdays in places like that as well. And I'm not actually the best secondhand vintage shopper, but it was quite a fun Saturday. You and your friends kind of just going and trolling through the shops, and definitely felt like you were cool doing it.
Definitely. What's the oldest piece in your wardrobe?
So I go back and forth between trying to keep things in my wardrobe because I always think things will come back around and I'll want it again, but also not having the best use of space. So I've not actually got anything with me to show because everything that is that bit older is up in my loft. But I've got a top, a strappy black and kind of white, grey, probably white at the time, now grey, lace cami top that my mum had in the 90s that when I was younger actually used to be in my dressing up box. Don't really know why, because it's a normal top, doesn't even have the label in it. But then as I got older, it came out of the dressing up box, and then in my 20s I used it as a top to go out in, and I probably will never get rid of it because I just think at the minute it actually probably doesn't fit me. But I think it'll just be one of those pieces that I will keep, and even if I pass on to somebody else at some point, it's just something that I'll never ever get rid of. And then, I mean, I've still got my prom dress, which was like, honestly, now I look back and think about it, it was like a black strapless top, black part with little black diamantes on, and then absolute bright neon pink, like tutu style, like material out to my knee. With my stepsister came over and did my hair, and I had these like corkscrew curls in when I got my makeup done at MAC professionally, and just thought as the absolute bee's knees. And I think we've tried to kind of maybe think we would sell it, but then it's kind of almost kind of just become part of the wardrobe now that you just still keep hold of it. And then the one thing I've got that I would still wear at the minute is I've got a white and blue paisley shirt. It was quite sheer fabric actually from Topshop, and I absolutely loved it. I probably wore it when I was maybe like 17, 18, around that time. I will never get rid of it. I will still wear it now. I feel like it's just one of those shirts that kind of comes in and out of fashion, but it just holds too much in me to get rid.
But I think that's what's really interesting with fast fashion is that if you are utilizing it in the right way, if it is something that you buy and it's considered and you hang on to it and you are getting your money's worth out of it, then yes, it would be nice that everything we bought was sustainable and from small businesses and all of that type of thing. But realistically, we don't shop in that way. So I think as long as you're approaching it in the right way of going, well, actually, I love this. I've been wearing this since I was 17 and I'm still wearing it now. That's great.
Yeah, exactly. I definitely feel like I've got more conscious of fashion as I've got older. I think a lot of people have. And my job does make it a lot harder just because I am surrounded by so much, constantly we're always talking about trends and things. But I think, as long as my rule is kind of as long as you know the pieces that you are buying, you are going to get your money's worth out of, then that's good enough for me.
Same. Now, what's the piece in your wardrobe that gets the most compliments?
Well, I've got a couple. I did ask my colleagues at work this. So I was like, what do you guys think? And they said, which I'll have to show afterwards. Last year I turned 30 and me and my boyfriend went to New York for my 30th. And I love Ganni at the minute. It's very me. Kind of the one brand I wish I could kind of have everything of. And so as a birthday present to myself, I bought myself a Ganni bag. And it's kind of the classic Ganni bag. It's got the twist, not handle top, and then it's like tan. And I get so many compliments on that. A lady stopped me on the tube this week actually and asked me where it was from. That's probably the one item that I've got at the minute that I wear a lot, that everybody always asks me kind of where it's from. And then the other thing, I have brought something just to share because I didn't have that to hand because I can't access it at the minute, is this collared, like quilted jacket, which is from a brand called Journey.
I love Ganni.
Yeah, I love Journey. They're just a really nice brand. Got some really lovely pieces. And I got this last year. And I would say every time I wear this, it's a really good jacket for this time of year, actually, because it's kind of just a little bit thick that you can get it, you can wear it without anything over the top and just obviously have a t-shirt underneath. But I would say when I wear this as well, I get quite a lot of compliments because obviously I think at the minute leopard print is still a massive trend and everybody's wearing it still. But to me, it's a print that I will keep this because this will just, leopard print to me never goes out of style. But yeah, I feel like every time I wear this, I get asked a lot where it's from. And I kind of love telling people it's from Journey as well, because it's definitely a brand that isn't as recognizable as, if you said, the M&S or, Next and things. So, I like telling people about new brands that they might not have necessarily heard of before as well.
It is great to be able to share that if you've got a brand that you love and that they do fabulous pieces, to then be able to share that with other people. I'm a huge fan of Journey. I love their whole ethos of their brand, the quirkiness of their print, just absolutely gorgeous. I'm also always running around telling people about Sister Jane and about Kittery. They're two of my absolute favourites, and I wear lots of their pieces and people are like, oh, where's that from? I'm like, oh, Sister Jane, such a good brand. You've got to go look. The menswear too.
That's so funny, actually. With Kittery, I've sent my friends after a wedding outfit, like wedding guest dress for this summer, and I've actually just forwarded her a Kittery dress that's on sale today and been like, you'd look great in this. And I feel like I'm waiting for her to text back and say, I've not looked here before.
Yeah, it's so good. They have so many good things. Like, I love them. Really love them. Now, what's the most expensive piece that you've splurged on? You don't have to share how much it was.
But... No, I mean, I could probably remember. I've got it with me, actually. Get it. Like I said, I'm really not designery. Obviously, I've got like Ganni. To me, obviously, it is designer, but it's kind of not the nowhere near the top end of things. But in about 2017, I saved up for a mulberry.
Nice.
Which I did actually get in a sample sale.
I was just about to say, the mulberry sample sale is so good.
Yeah.
It's such a good sample sale. I've been a couple of times and I actually didn't buy anything because it was a joint. It was a mulberry and something else, and I ended up buying something else. And I went to one and I bought a mulberry dress, but I've still not bought a bag from one of them. But they're such good sample sales.
Such good. So good. And because I just think a mulberry as well is so classic that you can't, because obviously probably they put the bags in that are like last season or seasons gone by. But to me, you literally can't. And I just went for this very classic kind of crossbody bag. I'm not going to lie, I don't know if there's a name of it or not. I can't remember. But I went for practical because I was like, I need something that'll just last for years to come. And I think, it has just started to scuff on the kind of like little gold button details now and things. And I actually haven't worn it in ages, much to my boyfriend's dismay when he says, oh, I can't believe you bought that all those years ago and then you don't wear it that much now. But I just do think it will be a bag that I'll bring out again and again. And I really go through phases with bags. Like I don't swap bags a lot. So then I'll wear one and wear it to death every day for 6 months. And then I might swap it out for another one and wear that to death for 6 months. So I can't be bothered with the faff of swapping a bag every day because I'll just forget things. So yeah, I'm glad I bought it. And yeah, I think in the sample sale, it maybe cost me about, I think it was between 600 and 700. And this was back in 2017. And I was definitely on like an assistant level kind of job at that time, but I just remember saving up for months because I just thought it was just something I really wanted to like treat myself now as kind of in industry and things, and went with a colleague and we had a really fun day. The only thing I wish I had is when I bought it, I didn't get a nice like bag, like an actual like shopping bag, and they gave me this like see-through plastic bag, and I remember being so upset 'cause I love like nice shopping, like cardboard shopping bags. And I remember thinking, well, this just doesn't scream that I've bought a mulberry, does it? But
At least it still came with the dust bag.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and I think that's important. But it's a really lovely colour choice as well. To go for that
Mm,
neutral tone, it is
yeah.
then just going to work with everything.
It's
So you
just
could be wearing it every day if you wanted to.
yeah, and that's what I did, and that's when I bought my Ganni last year, my other like designer bag. That's in a tan colour. Like I just can't. To me, I need something that I will just wear constantly for years to come and get my wear out of. But yeah, and apart from that, that's definitely the thing I've spent the most money on. I am quite cheap and cheerful. Obviously, I'd love to have, some more pieces in my wardrobe, but I can't always afford it.
No, and I think that's what sample sales are for. I think that's
Yeah.
why it's great to go to the sample sales because I'm the same. I don't splash out on loads of designer things brand new. I
Mm,
everything of the designer things that I've got have either come pre-loved or they've come from sample sales. And whether it's just my natural northern tightness
mm.
coming through there and I just can't bring myself to go into those shops and spend that amount of money on something when I
Mm,
know I could go to a sample sale and get it with a little bit of harder work and a little bit more patience and a bit more
yeah.
rummaging. I'd much rather just do that. I think it is, don't get me wrong, if I win tonight's Euro Millions, that
Yeah,
attitude might change. But right now, realistically,
exactly. It feels like more of an achievement almost, doesn't it? Because you've kind of got a bit. It is that northern thing sometimes, isn't it? A bit of a bargain.
yeah, you've put the
Um,
work in for it. You've put the
yeah.
work in. And I do wonder whether that is something that's kind of a cultural thing, that it's
Mm,
that we not only feel we need to earn that piece by earning the money for it, but that we need to earn that piece by putting the work in to get it, by queuing up for a
yeah.
sample sale and grafting and going through all the rails and rummaging and finding that
Yeah.
thing. I get a much bigger dopamine hit from shopping when it's like treasure hunting, whether that's secondhand, whether that's rummaging through TK Maxx, whether that's having a dig at a sample sale, than just
Yeah.
going into a shop, finding that perfect thing instantly that's been on a mannequin, grabbing it and walking out. I'm like, it's nice, but that feels a bit more clinical. I kind of feel that when
Yeah.
you put the graft in, you get the reward a bit more.
Yeah. 100%. Although I'm not a great rummager, I do try. Even on Vinted, scrolling through, I'm cracking at selling on it, but sometimes like I struggle to wade through the rubbish to get to what I need. But I agree that when I have bought stuff on things like that, I do feel a real sense of achievement.
Yeah, I like that. Give me all the extra little dopamine hits.
Yeah.
What's the newest piece in your wardrobe? You've said that you like to follow trends. Is it quite a trend led piece to the newest edition?
Well, yeah, it is actually. The thing, I'll do two things basically, because this is the last thing I actually bought myself, which was probably about a month or so ago now. I went into Zara. Well, actually, a colleague picked up on it actually and saw it online and was like, "Oh my god, you need to have this." Just sorting the lining out at the top is a gingham midi skirt from Zara. I think it's online now still. I think they've also got it in a dress version, and I think it was about maybe 35 to £45. Can't remember, something like that. Very very picnic style, very spring. Feel like I'm having a real midi skirt moment at the minute. I was always the person that had a midi dress for everything. And nowadays, I feel like I can't find as many midi dresses that I like. So my kind of style has shifted slightly to wearing kind of midi skirts like this with sandals and trainers and like big t-shirts and things. So yeah, I was very very happy to have this, and I've already like been on holiday with it and kind of worn it in that respect, and then I've already worn it to work. So yeah, it's already become quite a versatile piece. And then the other thing I wanted to show is more just because I've not necessarily bought it. I'm quite lucky in my job that sometimes I do get a few things gifted, um, and just because it was quite different for me, and it is a new piece of my wardrobe. I've just actually got this three-piece suit from Tesco's.
I love a three-piece suit.
It's really different for me. Like I love a blazer. I'm quite good on a wide leg trouser, but I have a fuller bust, so waistcoats aren't great for me, just because they normally don't fit. But this one in particular kind of has fits really well, and it's such nice quality as well for supermarkets. So yeah, F&F kindly did give me this a couple of weeks ago, and I've not got the trousers with me because I've already worn them separately to work this week. But I just feel so smart in a suit, and it's kind of not normally what I would wear, but I tried it on, and I just thought actually with all three pieces, like I said, I've already worn the trousers separately. In fact, I wore the blazer at the weekend. I can wear the waistcoat on its own as well. So I love stuff like that because it just gives you so many more outfit options. And again, nice neutral color and things. So yeah, they're the kind of like newer springy additions to my wardrobe. But I think when it comes to kind of how much I buy in general, I do kind of have a limit that I only tend to buy one thing a month. Just because I do have a lot of clothes already, and I think sometimes you do need to make use of your wardrobe. So but it's hard when you're surrounded by clothes like I am 24/7, and you obviously think, oh, I really want that, or I really want that, and yeah.
It's interesting the very different personalities of those pieces as well, and the way that they make you feel when you're wearing them. The
Yeah.
skirt sounds like that's very much your comfort zone. The suit is a little bit different, out of the ordinary, but makes you feel really great when you're wearing it. They give you that kind of confidence and that power, and I think that's something that's really overlooked when we think about fashion and our clothing. It's actually the way it really genuinely makes us feel when we put them on.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%. And like, I think, I do have to go into an office 3 days a week with my job, and whilst we can wear what we really want to wear pretty much, like there are some people in the same office as us that I wear suits every day, because they do have a bit more of a formal job than what I have kind of in the fashion cupboard, and um but I feel like I will wear something like that to work. So I do quite like the idea of wearing like a power suit. A couple of the girls in my team wear, my fashion director especially is quite a tailored dresser, and she looks great in it. And I think sometimes I almost not come across too scruffy, but I'm a very casual dresser, so it's quite nice sometimes to have a bit of a change.
Yeah, that bit of versatility. What is
Yeah.
the most sentimental piece in your wardrobe? Is there a piece that you were maybe gifted or that you wore to a memorable event? Is there something that you springs to mind?
It's actually a bit of a family heirloom, I suppose, so to speak. My grandma passed away a couple of years ago, and growing up, she had lots of lovely rings. From engagement ring to wedding ring. She had like a ruby wedding ring, an emerald one, and I always remember playing with them growing up and being like, I'd love to have these one day. Sadly, she got dementia, and over the years, we lost the rings. We don't know where they've gone. But when we were clearing the house out, I found kind of this like clock necklace.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It's from a jeweller's on Albion Street in Leeds, which is obviously in the city centre. And I think this now is probably one of the most sentimental things I've got to me, just because not only it reminds me of her. In fact, I don't really think I've ever seen her. I don't actually have a recollection of her ever wearing it, so I don't know. I'd love to know more about it, when she got it, who gave her it, etc. But we don't actually have that information. But I just think the rings held such a special place to me growing up. And I was sad that we didn't have them anymore. So I feel like I kind of found the next best thing in another piece of jewellery that she did have. And again, it's just one of those, it's like a lovely gold necklace with this lovely, lovely clock on. And I just think I can obviously wear that for like years to come. That's never, ever going to age. If I ever had children of my own or anything when I'm older, then I could pass that down. So yeah, I think this is definitely a piece I will never really be getting rid of.
That's a gorgeous story. Do you wear it often?
Yeah, sometimes. Like again, like I suppose now I've like got a V-neck on now, and I've not got a necklace on. I would say I wear earrings and a watch is what I wear every day. Necklaces are when I remember. Like I wish I could be that person that wore loads of rings and layered their necklaces up. Some people are really into their jewelry. Like I have a friend that she gets some cracking rings off Vinted, like really good, like solid gold rings and things, and she goes searching high and low for them, and she's always got like, lovely jewelry on, but I'm quite a plain jewelry gal.
It's
um
interesting. It's really interesting the pieces that you go towards, because earrings are one of those that if I remember to put them in, great, I'll wear them. But I never wear rings. I will only ever wear my wedding ring. I never
mm,
remember to, and I've got loads of rings. I just never remember to put them on. But
yeah.
I always have. I've got a little stack of bracelets that I never take off,
Mm,
and I have 2 necklaces that I never take off.
yeah,
So
it's
they're just
funny, isn't
permanent
it?
fixtures. But the other bits, I would never even remember to put them on.
Yeah. And that's the thing, I will only sometimes I catch myself in the morning before I'm getting ready to go out, and I think, oh, I need a necklace or something, in which case then I would put it on. I think I'm also slightly scared of like breaking it.
Yeah, I think,
It's quite a weighty piece,
yeah.
actually, like the actual clock. Um, so it's more reserved for kind of the special occasions rather than like an everyday necklace.
Is there a piece in your wardrobe that you would say most sums you up?
Yeah, probably this kind of collared blouse. um, yeah, anything with a collar on. Obviously, I already showed the kind of leopard print jacket I had on earlier. That also had a collar. In fact, I've just actually done a piece for Fabulous at the minute with my mum, where she shared my wardrobe for the week, and in that was literally I made her wear a collared blouse one day, because again, that's kind of got my style written all over it. Um, and the other one at the minute would be kind of the really fun slogan t-shirts. Like I've got a lot of things. I love just a t-shirt, that says. Trying to think what all mine say now. Like some of them have got like a margarita on, or like um, Pasta Lovers Club is another one. Absolutely love pasta, because I just feel like you can really express your personality through them. Because often, obviously, you're not really going to have a t-shirt on, like a slogan t-shirt saying something, if you don't agree with it or it's not a bit of you. So I feel like you can really express your personality through them.
I love
Um,
that. So she used to be one of my styling assistants when she was still in university, but she now has her own brand, a lovely girl called Maddie, and her brand is called McKindo Design, and she does some incredible t-shirts.
oh, I'm going to look at them
Yeah,
then.
really good. They're like really fun, really like
Yeah.
quirky little illustrations on them and things. And yeah, I
Oh,
just
yeah,
love
I
them. They're
love
such a
that.
vibe.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's what I mean. They're just so easy to wear as well. Like, jeans, even like the gingham Zara skirt that I've just bought, I took things like that into, like, yeah, shorts for summer. They're just so easy to throw on, and yeah, I just feel like they really express your personality. But yeah, I would say I'm quite a girly dresser, probably, so kind of anything with a ruffle or a frill, going back to the collars again. I'm not afraid of colour either. Lot of checks. My wardrobe is quite colourful. Love a jazzy trouser at the minute. I've got some trousers. These ones are from Next, a bit of a staple. Like, again, gingham. I have a thing for gingham. These like drawstring elasticated waist, kind of wide leg trousers. These are only £25 from Next. They're really good. I've had these a while now, and yeah, we'll get lots and lots of wear out of them. Yeah.
Love it. Now,
Yeah.
I am a natural disaster. So, wardrobe malfunctions tend to happen to me all the time, despite my years of styling experience, my wealth of fashion knowledge. These things still happen to me. Now,
Yeah.
would you like to share a story and join my club of disasters?
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm terrible. I'm so clumsy. I've always got something's always spilt down me.
So,
Even the other day, I've got into the bad habit of doing my makeup on the train on a morning. Just I'm not the biggest morning person, and I even managed to get the concealer wand slashed across my jumper
oh
as
God.
I was putting it back in the pot, and this man was just looking at me opposite, and I just was looking like, well,
Here
oh
we
well,
are.
there's nothing I can do right now until I get to work. But aside from obviously the odd spillage and things, it's not necessarily a malfunction, as kind of a bit of a faux pas that will always stick in my mind. Um, I have a really irrational fear of turning up to events in the same outfits as people. I just, it really instills the fear in me. And I don't know why, because you can obviously just laugh it off and it's a funny thing. But I basically had a really bad experience, which I'll tell you about, which is why I feel this way. And it goes back, maybe I'd lived in London maybe like a couple of years at this point, and I had bought myself this red Zara dress. It was like I don't really know what fabric it was, but it was kind of, again, a bit puff sleeved, but kind of 3/4 wrap mini style with a V. I just thought it was amazing. And we went to a friend's birthday. At the time, I lived in East London. This was going all the way to, well, it was well over an hour away where the birthday party was. And we get there and it's a picnic. It's a joint birthday party, and we get there, and yeah, so I walked into this birthday party in this garden, and all these girls that I'd never met before just gave me really dirty looks, and I just thought, maybe I'm not. I don't probably really know. I just thought rude. um, and then anyway, nothing said. You know, we were with our friend whose birthday it was, and then she basically came up to me, and it was her and her housemate's birthday. Didn't know the housemate, and she was like, "Oh, by the way, like, my housemate, that dress you're wearing, that's the dress she's wearing tonight for her birthday, for like when we go out." And I was like, "Oh, right, okay." But she wasn't wearing it at the time. And I was like, "Okay." And she was like, "Yeah, she's just really upset that you're wearing the dress because it's her birthday and she's wearing this dress." I didn't know the girl. I wasn't there for her birthday. My friend, you know, the girl at's birthday what I was there for, wasn't saying to me, "Go home and take it off," because I was like, I'm also well over an hour away. And I was like, I get, obviously she'd planned her birthday outfit and now this random girl's got the dress on. But yeah, it was just the way it was handled. It was really, just made me feel really uncomfortable all day. 'Cause, you know, and you just think, oh, I didn't really know that, you know, how would I know what you're wearing? But ever since then, it was fine. We didn't really like hang around when we went out, like, and she styled it different anyway. But I kind of wish she'd have just probably taken it in a stride and just been like, haha, look at us with the same dress on. And instead it just kind of wasn't really like that. And I think ever since then it has kind of given me a little bit of a complex as to like showing up at events wearing the same thing as somebody else. Like, I had 7 weddings last year.
God.
So obviously, like, and I actually ended up renting a dress for every wedding because it was just the easiest way. But I also thought, if I rent a dress, I'm probably less likely to be in the same dress as somebody as if I've worn something brand new from the likes of Zara or ASOS. Or, and I kid you not, every wedding I go to, I have this awful kind of sweaty palm situation as we're going, like, arriving at the wedding, and I don't actually feel calm until I've seen everybody arrive at the wedding and I know I've not got the same dress on as them, which is ridiculous. And it's the same probably with kind of like, you know, bigger social occasions. And you know, you can totally laugh it off with somebody and just be like, no, great dress sense and things. But I think it's just because I've had that one experience that I'm just like, oh no. But then I once actually did with my best friend. We both had the same pink dress from Sainsbury's, and we both rocked up at King's Cross Station once wearing it, which that was just funny because it's your best friend as well. And we ended up on the train. We've got a little picture together with our train drinks. You know, wearing it. Our boyfriends are both looking at us like, you look like you've planned it. So those times are funny. But yeah, I think I just had too much of a complex from that one experience that I just
Oh, bless you. That's horrible. That has happened to me. So my now husband, when we'd not been together massively long, but he was an usher at somebody's wedding, and I was his +1, and I knew nobody. I'd met the groom once. I'd not met the bride. I literally did not know a soul. And I had been in Manchester and with nothing to wear like the weekend before, and I'd gone into this little boutique and there was a little like matching cord. So it was trousers and then it was like a corset top with like these really pretty colours on the front. It was really cute. And I was like, oh my God, I love that. It was on sale. It was half price. I was like, meant to be. I'm going to buy this. I'm going to wear this. Done. I get to this wedding and the sister of the bride is wearing that outfit. She didn't take it well. She was livid because I was a complete random stranger who'd turned up to this wedding, and she was furious to the point that she had us taken off our table and moved tables because we were supposed to be sat on the same table as her because we were part of the, well, my I was part of the bridal party, being one of the ushers. And when we went to look at the table plan, our names had been scribbled out and had been written on another table.
Oh my God, no. See that?
And we literally, I saw her in the toilets at one part of the evening, and I was like, you look amazing, and like, this is really funny. And she was like, honestly, I don't find it funny. She went, it took me so long to find this. She was like, when did you buy that? And I went, I bought it last weekend. It was on sale. And she was like, I bought this months ago because it took me so long to find something that I really wanted to wear. I was like, I am so sorry. If I could go get changed, I totally would. But we were like 2 hours from home, staying in a hotel. I'm like, I could literally go put my joggers on, but I don't know that that's going to make you feel better.
Yeah. Oh God, no, I feel like your story's worse than mine.
Oh, it's when people don't take it well. Take it in the good sense of humour that it is.
Yeah.
Like, it's funny. Like, it's not the end of the world.
Nobody's done it on purpose.
Yeah, there's nothing has been done out of spite there. It's literally just coincidence. And actually, take it as a compliment. I took it as a compliment that she thought the outfit that I was wearing was so great. She was wearing it too, but she did not take it that way. And I then was just like, this is so awkward.
I know, it's terrible, isn't it?
It was just a horrible moment.
I know. I always ask, like, if there's any kind of events, like, I went to a wedding last year in Portugal, and it was my boyfriend's friends getting married, and I had to keep being like, what colour are the bridesmaids?
Yeah.
It's like, you need to ask. And then he did ask, and then a lot of the boys laughed at him, and he was like, I was like, no, like, I need to know, because, I don't want to be showing up in, even like the same, obviously the same colour is kind of fine, isn't it? But, sometimes then you can also look like a bridesmaid.
Yeah, and like, you've just tried to be a bridesmaid because nobody's told you. I think it's mad. Yeah. There should be some like secret hidden website where the bride can set it up so that we can all just go and post what our outfits are.
Yeah,
like, I don't want a WhatsApp group because there's enough WhatsApp groups going on.
Too many of them, but yeah. When I had my prom actually, the shops all over Leeds, because that's how you did it back then. You went to a proper prom shop. I'm assuming now they obviously buy them online a bit more. But when I bought my dress, they basically said they then wouldn't sell my dress to anybody else from my school.
Oh, that's really nice.
And that's how they all did it. So that the premise then was that obviously nobody showed up in the same outfit.
You see, yeah, that's lovely. I really like that. That's a really cool thing for them to do.
Because can you imagine? I feel like teenagers probably wouldn't take that well.
No. Teenage girls, no, the absolute worst. Now, what are your favourite shoes? Are you quite heels girl? You did mention trainers earlier. Trainers?
I wish I could wear heels. And obviously back in the day, like everybody as a millennial, I did wear the kind of sky high stilettos. But even back then in the club, I used to be stood against a wall, propping one foot up after the other, being like, always used to have them off by the end of the night. So yeah, I really, really can't wear heels anymore. So much so that I actually had Botox put in my feet a couple of years ago because it was meant to help stop kind of the pain on the balls of your feet.
Victoria Beckham apparently did this, didn't she? She used to do this. Does it work?
It like helped a tiny bit, but for how much money it was, I mean, I wrote it up for a feature for work, so it kind of was part of that. But like the upkeep, if I was to carry on with it, was just too much money for something that like really didn't solve it that much. Yeah. Like it helped a tiny bit, but nothing that would be worth it. And it was so painful as well. I was like, I can't. It just because if you think where that part of your foot underneath is so sensitive. So these days I do have like heels, but only kind of like little ones. I've got some really nice new ones that I got for my holidays the other week from River Island that are kind of
love those.
Blue with a bigger applique flower on, and the heel is minuscule. It's like a tiny kitten heel. But yeah, that's definitely kind of my preferred heel height, which is really annoying. So I'm only 5'4", and my boyfriend's 6'3", so I could really do with actually having some heels that are like taller. But I just can't do it to myself. So yeah, my go-tos are trainers. I wear my trainers pretty much every day to death. In fact, I've got my pink ones here, the classic kind of Adidas Gazelles with the green stripes. I got these last year, and they've been in hibernation actually over the winter months, just because I didn't fancy wearing pink trainers over winter, and more just because they are suede and I didn't want to get them too ruined. But they're making a comeback now that the spring is out, because they're very springy.
Perfect spring colours.
Yeah, exactly. And I've got another dark green pair at the minute that I've been wearing to death. But yeah, I just do you know what? Teenage me I never wore trainers, were just for the gym, growing up and things. So the fact that they've just, to me now, they've become kind of like an everyday wardrobe staple. Teenage me would be like, oh, I can't believe it. And then I've got one more pair of just because I have to shout these out. They are these sandals from June that I also have in like where the raffia is here. They're raffia kind of big, chunky, flat sandals. But yeah, I've got them in a tan pair as well. They are the comfiest pair of sandals I have ever owned. So much so that I think another two of my friends now, we've just bought my friend a pair for her birthday. Like I'm obsessed with them. This pair actually my friends bought me for my birthday last year because they know how much I love them. I really struggle with shoes. I would say most pairs rub me. I've always got a Compede on. I've always got some kind of blister on my foot. Like I really struggle to find shoes that are comfortable. So like when I do, like these ones from June, I feel like I cling on to them for dear life because I really struggle.
That's what I do. When I find a comfy shoe, I just wear it until it's dead. Wear it until absolute oblivion, and then I have to try and find another one because I'm over the days. I still love a heel, and I will still suck it up and wear heels if I think the outfit really needs it. But there are so many occasions where I'm just like, but I could be in my trainers.
Yeah, is it worth it?
Yeah, could be wearing my trainers, and they're so much more comfortable. Now, is there a dream fashion item that you're lusting after? You can have it irrespective of cost, practicality, availability. It can be from any time period. What would you have?
Oh, the time period. That would make things interesting. In my head of this question, I've gone quite practical on something that is actually on my wish list now. I love Cézanne, the brand, and I just think their pieces are lovely. I just think they're pieces that are really well made and also will just last a very long time. And their Clyde trench has been on my wish list for quite a while. I love a trench coat. The last one, my one I've got from Zara, has been in my wardrobe for years. I wear it every year. I just get so much wear out of a trench coat, and I absolutely love the ones that Cézanne do. And for a while I've been wanting it in just kind of the classic beige colour, but this time, shock horror, they've brought a gingham check one out, and now I'm obsessed with it. Obviously we've now established how much I like checks. I'm obsessed. I think it's about £275, and I just can't currently bring myself to buy it. But that is kind of like the top of my wish list at the minute.
Get it set up as a vintage saved search, and then the moment one pops up, just snap it up because it sounds so perfect for you.
I mean, we're buying a house at the minute with my boyfriend, selling where we live now, and it's things like that at a minute that I'm like, well, I would buy it, but I just feel like I can't justify it, or I'll come home and I'll have to kind of hide it, which I don't want to do. So maybe Vinted is the way forward on that.
Vinted, or just saving it in your favourites and checking it every time to see if it's gone into the sale. It might go into.
But they do them in quite a few. That's the only like patterned one. All the others are kind of like khaki and different shades of beige and things, but they just look so lovely, so well. And I think that's the thing with those things, the bigger ticket items is cost per wear. And I just know I would totally get my wear out of that. So yeah, maybe I'll just start. I'm just convincing myself,
Yeah, I'm fully enabling you to go get this. I
Yeah.
will be an enabler and encourage you to just go buy it because it sounds perfect for you.
Yeah.
Now, is there a piece of fashion advice that you would have given to your younger self?
Yeah. I was thinking about this because I think, and it's probably not groundbreaking, but it is a big thing for me, is like comfort is key. Like I was saying with the heels earlier, like I spent so many nights out, in kind of tight bodycon dresses and skirts that you constantly had to pull down because it kept riding up, and massive big stilettos that again I would be stood on the dance floor kind of hopping from side to side on one foot, and it's just no fun. Like life is better with elasticated waistband, things that actually fit you. Like don't worry about the size of what it says on the hanger. It's about how it makes you feel at the end of the day. Like I've got clothes still in my wardrobe that are a size 10, clothes in there that are like an 18. I'm always shopping extra large on websites like Zara and things. Like I just think it's there to be comfortable and to fit you properly. There's no point in like trying to squeeze yourself into something that's just not gonna make you feel good. And that's because the same with everything, like everything, comfort in everything from your head to your toe, even like big dangly earrings that are like weighing your ears down, like, it's just not worth it.
I completely agree. That's great advice. I always recommend that when in doubt, just size up. It will always look that bit better if it's slightly oversized than it would if you went a size down. Like when in doubt, just always size up. It's going to be so much more comfortable and you're actually going to want to wear it. Whereas if it's one of those pieces, and we've all got them in our wardrobe that are for the slimmest versions of ourselves.
I'll get back into it. I never have.
Or even just like on a monthly cycle. There's days when I look at certain pairs of jeans and I'm like, you're not today, jeans. But then later in the month or whatever, I'm like, oh yeah, I can wear those jeans. They're all right. They're still not the most comfortable, but I don't feel we should have to do that to ourselves. Just if you're really bothered by the label, just cut that size label out. You don't need that negativity from your clothes.
Yeah. Literally, life is just too short to kind of worry about that. It makes no difference. Nobody knows what size clothes you've got on. Like, there's just no point in squeezing yourself into anything.
That's such good advice. Very good advice to finish on. Thank you so much for chatting to us today. It's been really lovely to talk to you.
Thank you for having me. I feel like I've had a very cathartic fashion experience. I feel like you've made me excited about my wardrobe again.
Oh, good. And please go buy that coat.
Oh, thank you so much.
Well, I do hope you enjoyed that chat. If you did, please remember to recommend Off the Hanger to a friend. Do the like, subscribe, the follow, the ratings, the reviews. Any of those brilliant things would be much appreciated. See you next time.